Terry McAuliffe has been anything but quiet since he lost the race for the Democratic nomination for governor of Virginia. The former DNC chair is actively working to attract businesses to Virginia, and he's making the rounds at many prominent Commonwealth political events. And Mr. McAuliffe joins me now live on First at 4. Thanks for being here.
Hi, great to be back with you.
Let's get this out of the way right now. 2013, are you going to be a candidate for governor?
Way too early. What I said I would do as governor is go out and create jobs. I didn't make it. I'm here with you, but you know, I can do it as a private citizen. So I've been traveling the world. As you know, I've put an offer in to try and buy the International Paper Plant with a group there. I'm working on a huge car company. I'm chairman of a big new car company called Green Tech Automotive. So I've been very active. What I talked about as governor, we got to be in that green space. That's the future. That's where the jobs are. And
so you have a lot of irons in the fire. You're traveling to Cuba. You're going to travel to China. You've talked about your work with this paper mill. How much of this is going to actually materialize into actual jobs in Virginia?
Well, clearly, listen, there were 15 or so bidders on the paper plant. I'm down to the final 2. I don't know if we win the bid, but you know what? The good news is either I win or someone else wins it. There's going to be jobs saved there. The car facility, I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting for final government approvals on that. I just went to Cuba. I opened it up for the Virginia wine market. We can do a lot of business down there. I'm going to China to get investment. I was in the Middle East for 10 days. They are going to spend over $100 billion on green technologies in the Middle East. I want them to be buying products from us here.
Now let's talk about Governor McDonnell. You've obviously been pretty critical of him in his first 100 days. But I wonder if you were in his position, he obviously faced a big chore of closing a $4 billion budget gap. You've been critical of some of the cuts that he was forced to make. Could you have balanced this budget without having to raise taxes? Is that really possible?
Well, it's all a sense of priorities. I probably would not have been the first one to open rest areas. You know, we're cutting all these teachers and we're reopening rest areas. There is a Hardee's, McDonald's at every single rest stop. That would not have been a priority. I would not have been embroiled in this Confederacy month with slavery. We've got to encourage businesses to move to Virginia. It's very competitive today. Let's not put something that doesn't look like we're making our arms open for everybody to come to Virginia. So, I mean, there's been issues. As you know, February, we lost more jobs than any other state in the United States of America, more than California, more than Texas. We got to focus on job creation. Let us go out and incentivize people to come to Virginia. Let's not be putting roadblocks up.
Rest areas would have been a pretty small part of that pie.
It was a big piece of his agenda. The other was selling the liquor stores, which is now off the table. Offshore drilling won't give us a penny.
$4 billion, can you do it without raising taxes? And still keeping some of these things that you consider to be priorities, the cuts to education, things of that ilk?
Well, clearly I wasn't in on the final budget negotiations. What I had always said as governor, I don't want to raise taxes, but I want us to build for the future. That's why I wanted a renewable energy standard. Jobs are being created. They're just not being created here because we have a voluntary standard. Other states have mandatory. I was in Arkansas giving a speech this weekend. The governor just announced a major turbine for wind farms. We're not doing that. Pennsylvania just got thousands of new jobs in the wind. We are not getting this green business, which I think for our children, I have 5 children here. I want my 5 children to stay here and their children to stay here. But unless we're involved in new entities and new opportunities of growth, it's not going to happen. That's what we should be focused on. Not on a Confederate month or all these other sexual discrimination. Forget it. Let's focus on jobs.
Okay, all right. Always exciting. Ton of energy as always. Good to see you. Thank you for being here, Terry.
Thank you.